Welcome back to Map Making in Silvernell, where I make a battle map from within my homebrewed fantasy world of Silvernell. Today's map is of Waterfalls above Mount Quinn. I'll be using the program Inkarnate for this build, with music by Tabletop Audio. This map is available free in the description below. There are links to images with a battle grid and one without. So let's begin. As you can see, I've switched over to a black marker for my sketching. It's much easier to see than the white marker I was using before. But let's focus. I want to make these waterfalls on the edge of a very high cliff, and that means a lot of rocks. Putting down these rocks, I want to start small, and then slowly build up bigger rocks on top of that. That will help create the illusion that we see the cliff wall go further down. It'll really reinforce the idea that this cliff is very high up. Below this cliff, I'm going to put a jungle. So as I'm finishing up with these rocks, I'm thinking, what techniques can I use to make sure that this jungle appears very far down? First, the forced perspective of this rock wall will really enforce the idea that it's far down. But then after I paint my forest or jungle, I'll add some clouds over it to show we're higher up than even the clouds. Also, adding some dark edges closer to the cliff makes it appear as if the cliffs are creating a shadow over the jungle. My idea for this playing space is for two waterfalls to pull together and lead to this waterfall pouring over the cliffside. So these rock walls that I'm putting down right now, away from the cliff, will help guide my river. It will also give varying heights of terrain for your players to utilize during their combat. For this back wall, I want it to be completely covered in rocks, almost like another very high cliffside. So I'll just stack them right on top of each other. Perfect. Now these waterfall assets are quite transparent, so I'm going to have to paint the watercolor behind it, which means I need to move certain rocks out of the way so they don't appear behind the waterfall. So after I've found my perfect spot, I'll move them right out of the way so I can see the blank background behind it. Now I need to work on the ground. I went back and forth on the color of the ground, but I knew I wanted rocks and grass and dirt. So first I'll lay down my rock, and then I'll go back over that with some grass in natural patches, trying to make sure nothing seems too even, because parallel and even is not natural. And then I'll darken the riverbed. Now it's time for our water. You see how painting behind those waterfalls gives it the color of the water we need? Darkening these back rocks will help my players focus on the main terrain below. Just a little trick to make this map get you looking at where you need to look. This cliffside is abundant with vegetation, as this fresh water rapidly travels through it all day and all night. During your combat, maybe in these bushes are poisonous frogs or wasps or bees. I'll take one more pass over the river, just to give it a murkiness. Perfect. Now I need a lot of rocks to show this cliffside has morphed and fallen and corroded over time. I'll use a white marker tool at low opacity, to show rushing water. To show this water moving past boulders and indicating small little waves. This will also help me blend the assets of the waterfalls more into the water. Let's add some trees. And a fallen tree to aid in crossing the river. For the final touch, I'll add some natural light to these waterfalls to make them really pop. And there you have it. A waterfall combat area map with 2 rushing waterfalls, a fallen tree bridge, dense vegetation, and a steep, highly elevated cliffside. If you've enjoyed watching this map being made, consider hitting the like and subscribe button for even more content, or comment and tell me what map you'd like to see next. And don't forget, the links to this map and one with a battle grid are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.